All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about circles, and we're going to talk about the different parts of a circle and how to find the circumference of a circle and how to find the area of a circle. So a circle is just simply the set of points in a plane that are a fixed distance from a given point called the center. Okay, so here's the center, and all of these, the outside of the circle is all different points that are connected. A radius, which is this right here, connects the center to any point. Okay, so it goes from here, from the center to the outside of the circle. Okay, and a diameter goes from one side of the circle through the center and over to the other side of the circle. So it goes all the way across the circle, passing through the center. All right. So because of that, because the radius only goes from the center to the outside and the diameter goes all the way across, the radius is half of the diameter. Or another way of looking at that is that the diameter is twice as long as the radius. In other words, it goes from here to here, and it also goes from here to here is the diameter. So that's something that to keep in mind when you're talking about the different parts of a circle. So go ahead and copy this into your notebook. All right. So if we're talking about the circumference of a circle, that's the distance around the outside of the circle, all the way around. And there's actually two formulas. Okay, so when we're copying this into your notebook, the important part here is that you copy these two formulas down. Okay, so the circumference is equal to pi times the diameter, or circumference is also 2 times pi times the radius. And remember that in the previous slide, I said the diameter is twice as long as the radius, or 2 times the radius. So that's what this is, the 2 times the radius. So we just took this diameter and replaced it with 2 times the radius. And depending on what you're given in the circle, depends on which formula you're going to use. If you're given a circle and you're given the diameter, you're going to use this top one. If you're given a circle and you're given the radius, you're going to use this bottom one. But you could also make the adjustments either way to do whatever you want to use. All right, so pi, this little number right here, is an irrational number that is just simply the, as most people know, we call it 3.14, okay? And it's simply the ratio of the circumference divided by the diameter is how they came up with it. All right. Okay, so at least copy the formulas down and make sure you understand what circumference is and what pi is. All right, so it says find the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 6 inches. And you use 3.14 for pi. So in this case, because we're given diameter, so we're going to say circumference is equal to pi times the diameter, which is 3.14 times, and I'm going to use a parentheses, 3.14 times 6, all right? So 3.14 times 6 is 18.84 inches. All right, 18.84 inches. All right. Find the circumference of a circle with a radius. Okay, so we're given a radius of 3.2 centimeters. Once again, you use 3.14 for pi. So in this case, because we're given a radius, we're going to say circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. All right, so which is 2 times 3.14 times 3.2 centimeters. Okay, plug it into the calculator. 2 times 3.14 times 3.2, and we end up with 20.096. 20.096 centimeters, or 20.96 thousandths centimeters. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, the last thing we're going to talk about, is the area of a circle. The area is just simply the amount of space that a circle covers over. All right, and this is useful oftentimes in construction or whatever, if you're trying to figure out how much material you need or something like that. So the area of a circle can be found by taking pi times the radius squared. All right, and we notice here that we don't have two formulas. We're always going to use the radius. All right, so pi times the radius squared. So go ahead and copy this into your notebook. Okay, it says find the area of a circle with a radius of 4.1 feet. Use 3.14 for pi. So area is equal to pi times the radius squared, which is 3.14 times 4.1 squared. All right. So we're going to say 3.14 times 4.1, and I've got the squared button here on your graphing calculators. You guys have a squared button. Make sure you use it. Okay. And so we end up with 4.1 squared is 16.81. So we have 3.14 times, what was it, 16.81? 16.81. All right. And when we do that, when we multiply those, we end up with 52.7834. 52.7834 feet. Now remember here, this is feet squared, so this should be feet to the second power. All right. And in the classwork, I'm going to get you to, if we have a longer number like this, I may get you to round it off and all that. So just make sure you pay attention what I want you to do in the classwork. All right. Last example, find the area of a circle with a diameter. Okay, so we're talking about the diameter of 15 centimeters. So remember, area is equal to pi times the radius squared. How do I find the radius? Well, radius is equal to 1/2 of the diameter. Okay, so we're going to say 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. All right, so when we do this, we end up with 3.14 times 7.5 squared. All right, when we plug that into the calculator, all right, 3.14 times 7.5 to the second power, okay, 7.5 to the second power was 56.25, or 56 25/100ths, is equal to, all right, 176 and 625 thousandths. 176 and 625 thousandths, and in this case, it's also going to be centimeters squared. Okay, so remember, if you're talking about circumference, it's not squared. If you're talking about area, and this is true for any shape, if you're talking about area, your unit of measure is always going to be squared. All right, so make sure you've got all those formulas and stuff written down. Make sure you ask me any questions if you don't understand something. We'll talk to y'all later.